Dave and Raj were just talking about some Teams things, and maybe you picked up on a few things. We hope you did, and maybe make you a little bit more interested in those. But hey, good evening. It's the Sunday night webinar. We're up to January 13th, Web 201, and I'm Gene Colbago.
And I'm Roger Carroll.
And we're glad you.
Yeah.
We are glad you're here. Hey, we've got quite a few weird things tonight. Raj, I got some stuff, and when you're ready to butt in, just yell, okay? Because I do remember your text today and so forth.
I'm trying to I'm trying to find a couple of things now.
Yeah.
These are going to be more like interjections.
Okay.
Okay. But I do have a handout.
You're doing parts of speech?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Okay. All right. Yeah, I did see the parts of speech, and we'll, do you want to wait on those until?
No, I say one of my things is a handout that is uploaded there.
I see it there. Yeah.
But it's when we get there.
That's what I'm saying.
No problem.
Okay. Hey, couple of things. A couple of weird little hints. First of all, that I ran across this week. Ran into some interesting things, and I read an article that really made me happy about some upcoming Microsoft updates that are coming this way. And I checked, and one or two are already there, and a couple more should be here by the end of February. We'll take a look at those this evening. But the first thing, this may or may not be you, but when you open Microsoft Word, I'm going to often open Microsoft Word now. The first screen you see generally is this one, right? It's, an introduction with a whole bunch of stuff here, some documents, so forth and so on. What if, and some people, all they want is a blank document. I don't need all this stuff. I just want to go to a blank document. You can set Microsoft Word up to start right here very, very easily. And you can turn it off very easily as well. If you want your Microsoft Word to start here, not to skip that other screen, all you need to do is go to File, go way down to your Options, okay? And when you get this Word Options, you may have to scoot down a little bit, and you'll find on this page some Start Up options. And just uncheck all of those, hit OK. All right, now I'm going to close this off and start it again, I hope. And now, when Microsoft Word starts, it starts right out at the blank document. That might be good for some of you, especially if you're going to be writing a lot of new documents. And again, if you wish to stop that and go back to this screen, you can go to your Options again, go back down to Startup Options, and you can click all three of those if you want. Hit OK, and now you've set it back to the default method. Okay? A little hint for you. That I just happened to run into.
Now that you're saying, is that new, or has that been there and we just haven't noticed it?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know.
I thought so.
I don't know. I just saw it. I read, and again,
I thought I had not seen that.
I had read it in the newspaper, or read it on one of our, blogs, sites that we get. Someone had that as a little tip, and I thought, it might be useful for some people, or at times, and you can turn that on and off. It's not like a permanent thing. So I thought it might be useful. Anyhow, last week, I showed you a site that has become, I think, the most popular site to be written about in many of the blogs and sites that Roger and I respond to. And if I may, let me just get one of these open, any one of these. It was the one that dealt with the images and it was called remove.bg. Remember, if you were here with us last week, we talked about the fact that sometimes we have images we'd like to use, but they have backgrounds that you might want to remove. And this site has become super popular, I guess. I actually read 6 different articles about it this week. And all you need to do is go to remove.bg, remove background. And this is how easy it is. In case you weren't here last week, it is, I'm going to show you, I have 2 little pictures here. Oh no, they're on the other. I don't have 2 pictures here. They're on my other computer. I had a problem today and I left them on the other computer. Anyhow, but what you can do is, all you need to do is to drag a picture in here. Let's see if I have a picture with it.
You must have pictures.
I do, but I had 2 that I wanted to use, and I'll get to it later. Okay. All right. Hey, see this stupid one right here? Okay, me.
Oh, right. I've got that blocked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You won't see that one. Where is? Okay. And I'm sorry. It will not, by the way, take, like if I had a cat picture or something, it will not work. Okay. All I need to do is drag that over there, and boom, 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 and there it is. Notice it has removed the background. And then you can either download the picture without a background, or you can just, do a copy image and then paste it wherever you want. And, I think last week we showed some people in, we put them in Disney World and, so forth. But here, let me show you another one real quickly. Here's a group, a whole group of people. Look at that. It took all that background out. It's just,
and when you drop it in there, it does it without another click.
No, yeah, just drop it in and it does it within 5 seconds. It's that quick. It really is pretty cool. And I mean, it gets, as you can see,
it's pretty good. I noticed on yours, like your left shoulder, it for some reason it didn't totally recognize everything there.
Let's try it again. Drop it in again and see my left shoulder. Oh yeah, there was a little bit there. Yeah, but on the other hand, no, you're right. It is not 100% perfect. But for those of you who need that, we were talking about last week, if you're giving some kind of an assignment where kids have to go somewhere, do something, or report on a city or state, you can actually take a picture of them. They could go here, put themselves into that picture, just paste it right onto the picture. It's great. It's great. It works great with PowerPoint, by the way. Okay. So anyhow, I just thought I'd like to show you that. Okay. Now, while we're at it, you may notice that if you look at the top and bottom of my screen, I have some purple here. Okay. It's not that I love purple. It's just that I wanted to show you something. Okay. I'm going to change that immediately after the show. There is a way also of, let me show you I have a Dropbox. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I clicked the wrong thing. Maybe I don't even know where my Dropbox went. Okay. Anyhow, there are many ways that you can personalize your own computer. And a couple of articles this week were showing some really personalization that you might like. So take a little bit of a look at some of the things you can do. The first thing, notice this is all purple. Doesn't have to be. You can pick any color you want. But if you don't like the color, I think it's white is the default. You want some color in there, you can put it in there very easily. All you need to do, again, go to your system settings. Okay. The next thing you would do is go to personalization and go to colors. Now, you'll notice that this background here is black. Notice that? That's because down at the bottom, you can choose a default app mode. Now, let me click light. There's what you mostly have right now. But if you like it to show dark, you just might want to play with it. It kind of looks cool. All right? And again, just something that you can do to make your computer look.
What are the transparency effects?
I think that, notice down here at the bottom, I selected a color. Okay.
Yeah.
And it does show, but it's the transparency effects. I think the transparency shows through, but I'm not sure. Let me turn it off. Okay. Wow. Notice over here, the transparency. There's a transparent. Notice how the picture is somewhat showing through here on my. Okay. When I turn this off, it's gone.
I get it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you can play with here. You can put the accent color in different places. Again, it's just a way that you can play with, how your computer looks. Personalize it a little bit for yourself. The next thing that I really like, and again, let me show you where I got this from. Okay? And I'm going to recommend that you go here, and I will post this. I don't think I have it here. Oh, darn it. Well, anyhow, it's over here. Okay. There is a site, Microsoft.com. Yeah, I'm sure you're going to remember this. I will post it on the page where we put the recordings. This is Welcome to Microsoft Tips, and it's a great page. I'm going to go through show you some of the things that you can do with it. But what I was really highlighting was what's new here today. See, this is the first thing. This was the first tip that we talked about, the light and dark and colors and so forth. But there are several of the tips in here that don't apply to us, because if you have an Android phone, you can use this tip. I don't, so I can't explain it. But this next one is super, super useful, I found. Quite often, I sit at my desk, and I'm sure you do too, Raj, with two computers running. Okay? And I found out the other day.
Only two?
Well, I had my pad and my phone. Anyhow, I had a document open on my one computer. And for some reason, I really thought, oh, wow, it would be great to have it on the other computer instead, open on the other computer instead. Okay, for some reason. This clipboard, and everybody, I think most of us are familiar with the clipboard now, because, the copy-paste element will allow you, the clipboard settings now will allow you to sync across devices. What that means, you can set it up so that when you put something in a clipboard on one computer, and your computers are, you're logged in on both of your computers, it's on the clipboard on the other computer. What I did was I highlighted that text, I, copied it, I went to my other computer, did a paste in Word, and the document was there.
It was put it in a clipboard.
It put it in the clipboard, and then it put it into Word. Yeah, just pasted it right into Word. And it did it very quickly. And to set it up, and this is where I ran into, and I'll have to, one little, not a warning, but a thing that needs to be done. Again, if you go into your Windows settings, okay, and now I got to remember where I got to go. Systems, I think it's just in System, and down below you will see Clipboard, okay, and there is a clipboard history, multiple items to the clipboard to use later. Well, I don't know why that's off. And sync items across devices, you would have to turn those two on. Okay? And once that's done, you will be able to sync. If I copied something on the computer I have right now, I could go to my Surface Pro, and it would be there on that clipboard. Now, having said that, if you say, hey, I want to do that, and you go up and you go to your, home, you go to your system, and then settings, system, and clipboard is not there. Okay? This is because in October of the last year, there was a major Windows update. I believe it was called 1810, if I'm not mistaken. Okay? And this was part of it. And that means that you have not gotten your home computer updated with Windows 8, the Windows Update 1810. You can do a search for it on with Google, and there is a way to download it very easily. It takes about 40 minutes. And you can then, it will, then run this. Okay?
Can I try something? Or you can be my remote mouse. If you go to your start button.
Go to my start button. Yes.
Yeah. And do your little doodah with the alphabet for the display them all. Display all the files, but by alphabetically.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Click it.
Yes.
Go to T.
T.
And is not tips there. There it is.
Oh, tips, yes. Okay.
The one you were talking about, rather than go to the website.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I tried to go to that website. I said, wait a minite. I think we talked about that one.
Yeah, we talked about it, and it's been updated. Yeah, they've updated it and done a lot more. I remember, thank you, Raj. I just hadn't thought of that aspect of it. I remember going there before, but it seems like they have really bulked up this site, as I'll show you in just a little bit. They've really put a lot more stuff on it. Okay? But anyhow, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. But anyhow, this needs to have the Windows Update. I found out that the computer I'm using right now, this afternoon, I went there and there was no clipboard, and having panicked a little bit, I realized that I had to do the update, and that took me a bit. Okay, we mentioned this last week. This next one, when you do the update, you will get a thing called Snip and Sketch. Snip and Sketch is the new, I don't have it here, but it should be. Oh boy, I'm hoping it is, because like I say, I just did this update. Yep, there it is. It came with the latest update, Snip and Sketch, and I'm going to pin it to the start because I do use it a great, and I want to also, can't I more?
More, yeah.
Pin it to the taskbar. I want to pin it to my taskbar here, and I also have it in my start. But it is taking over for the snipping tool, and there is so much more you can do with it. I think we showed you that last week. I won't go over it a lot, tonight, but again, oops, I lost my tips, and we're going to have to get it back to there. But it's a great little tool for taking a picture, saving part of your screen, all of your screen. You can write on it with Snip and Sketch. It's really good. It's so much simpler, and you can do a lot more. So do recommend you take a look at that one. It's really, really good. Raj and I used to buy a program from TechSmart, I think, from a company.
Okay.
Yeah, it cost $45, $50. I think we bought.
Yeah,
yeah,
the upgrades and stuff, right?
Yeah, and it was a great tool, and I think it's still on the computer here somewhere that I have not used in quite some time, because this tool is so much more efficient and easy to use. All right. Make your things on your screen larger. I know that sometimes in your classroom, if you're showing your browser, you can hit the Control+ to make the things bigger. But this is a way of making the text bigger, okay? Just the text. If you go again here, and this is ease of access. If you go in here, notice it says make text bigger. If you do this and then hit apply, just to show you, I'm waiting. Notice that the text is that much bigger now. And if you go to I don't even know what I have open here. I don't have anything open there, so I'm not going to see it. Duh. But if you go to your website, I think you'll see that this text is bigger than it was before. So it's a very easy way. What you might like to do with this is, notice now this is, see, the text here is bigger. What you might want to use this for is if you're showing something on your smartboard or something like that. Let me take it back to where I think 100% and apply this, and you'll see that it gets smaller again. Pretty easy. Pretty easy. That's one of the tools also that they mentioned. And I've lost it. I think those are the real tools, the tips that they mention in this one. But again, this is Microsoft Experience to your phone, and notice it says the Google Play Store. So if you have a Google device, you might want to take a look at that. It might be something that you can use. But anyhow, this page, and you can reach it either from the site that I gave you or tips, and thank you again for that, Raj. It has any number of tips on any number of different topics. And there's more than just what's on this page. We have the top office tips here. I mean, you can click on, I'm just going to do this very quickly. We're not going to. These are things that you can look through. We'll go down here to, down here, protect your, manage updates, the basics, so forth. And if you click the show more, you're going to see how to watch movies and TV, how to gaming on your Windows shortcuts, make your PC easy, so many different little tips that you might want to use. Okay? Now, there's also more. If you click the browse tips here, you'll see various tips for different tools and apps. For example, if you clicked on Word tips, you're going to get lots of tips just using Word, okay? And if that isn't enough, okay, go over to All Microsoft. Click on that, and there is, going across the top, Support. Okay? And it'll say which product, and this pops up, and I have no idea what this is. Microsoft Azure Read, and it just goes away after a while, but I'm just going to cancel it. I tried logging in on it, and I didn't have enough time, and it goes away. Anyhow, if you have a certain topic, I want to see something about Microsoft Office, and then what particular app? Microsoft Word. And I click on this, and here are some topics. Word training, Explore, Word templates, tips for Word, more training. That's a free trial. That one is a paid one. But most of these are free. And again, that tips has a plethora. Is that the correct term? Did I say it right, Raj?
Plethora.
Plethorum. Anyhow, lots of great ones that you can do. Hey, Raj, I don't know if you saw this. Now, you and I know you are the master of
putting pressure on
OneNote. No, OneNote. And I default to your intelligent on OneNote. But I just read an article this week about 10 new updates that are coming to Microsoft this.
I have that in my tool bag.
Oh, are you going to talk about that?
Well, in a roundabout way.
I was going to show two of them.
No. Yeah, I've got it. Actually, I've got those in my notebook. I was going to pull up and show on.
Were you going to show the one beginning with dictate?
I was going to show the 10.
Oh, all right.
Well, why don't I show the 10 and then you come back and show the dictate?
It'll take 2 seconds. And then I'll let you do the 10, and then. But what they're doing, let me just throw this up real quick. One page, and you can, this takes about 1 second. What they're doing now, if you have a, that's not what I wanted. I just needed a page. Okay, we'll go down here.
Down the bottom, new page.
Yeah, I knew. Okay, uh, okay. If you open this up, hit home, over here now is a dictate. The first time you click it, it will ask to use your microphone, which you say yes, of course. And then it will ask what language you speak. Notice, Roger, it even has a Canadian English. I was impressed.
Hardly anybody speaks that.
I was going to say there are more A's there, but I won't.
It's up to the
Okay.
yes, it's the alphabet of all A's.
But it says allow. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Works easily. Oh, seasonally. Okay. Well, anyhow, they are including the dictate in the Microsoft tools. They hope to have them done by the end of February. On the online tools, which is even better.
Right, because we've seen the dictation tab
Yeah.
as an add-on
Yeah.
in Word for a while.
Yeah.
Looking at that,
We were having some difficulty with it, like say on the student computers or in school or whatever. But if this is working online, and I looked for it in Word Online, it is not there as yet. Okay, home. And I suspect that it will be in here pretty soon. They said that it would be here in just a few weeks. So you might want to keep an eye out for that too, because that might be a real advantage for your students. Yes, Raj, you were going to say something?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just heard that. Okay. But anyhow, I was kind of excited about finding that the dictate might be available, in the schools, because they're putting it on the online.
And they rolled them out in
Yeah.
Well, they kind of warn you that not everybody's going to have this tomorrow morning. They roll it out to different levels of subscriptions. Maybe they even do it regionally. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they say everybody will have it.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah. Now, another thing that they have done. This is online. This is I always use Alice in Wonderland, just a paragraph. And Roger has talked many times about the immersive reader. But now, okay, I'm going to next tip and get rid of those. All right, I have to hang on a second. I've got to move something out of the way. What they've added, and I don't know if you've noticed this, Raj, notice now they have added down at the bottom, if I get something out of the way here, hopefully, translate.
Yes,
And you can go to any language. Very simply. And what I was impressed with, there were two things I was impressed. Let's do the Mexican Spanish. And as soon as you hit document, it's been translated into Spanish. Now, I know you probably can't hear this, but it's speaking it in Spanish. Okay? What's even nicer, if you highlight a word, look at that. It has a built-in dictionary. Okay? I don't know if it'll do that. Pensar, there. Pensar means to think. They are really, I was kind of impressed with that.
The next edition will tell us what he's thinking.
Yes, yeah.
That's coming. They're going to roll that out.
Yes, it's called artificial ESP. They have artificial intelligence. This is artificial ESP. Nuevo, everybody knows that means new. They have nice, bright, shiny things. Okay, but I thought, man, they are making some steps forward. It's getting to be quite a useful
This all goes back over 2 years, and I know we've talked about this, when Microsoft, as a yearly company event, they have a hackathon.
Oh yeah.
All the programmers, all the coders, whatever you call them, get together, put everything that they're working on aside, and just brainstorm and take an idea and run with it. And the immersive reader, which we were originally acquainted with in something they call learning tools, has just taken from that extremely basic read the passage in a very robotic voice. Then they started adding, you know, feature after feature after feature to it. And now it's like, and look at where we are now.
Yeah, and I have to say this, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but when I translated it into Spanish and then had it read it this afternoon and I was listening to it, it was incredibly real. It was the female voice. It wasn't like me
very robotic at all. It's very natural
and
speaking
of Spanish. Yes, of Spanish. I mean, it sounded just like. And one thing that I forgot to mention, you know, that when you, if I go, notice it has the original and the Spanish up here, and you can jump back and forth, which is real cool. But there's the word rabbit. I'll click on it. Notice because we have Spanish, it gives you the two words here, which might be good for.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, a little Spanish class there. So that's just, you know, some other things. And again, some other things are coming down the line, which, you know, that'll be really, really, you know, I'm thinking that there's a lot of great things coming down. And with that, Raj, why don't I shut up?
Okay, well, I'll take those two things off my list and go ahead.
Were you gonna do them? I'm sorry, I didn't.
Never mind.
Never mind. Sorry, I thought I thought there was something else.
Never mind.
Oh, well, anyhow.
Where's that picture of you? I'm gonna.
Yeah, put me. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna backtrack just a little bit. And I don't know if everybody's getting the same feedback I am. I'm getting lots of it, Gene.
No, I'm hearing nothing.
No, but I was getting it.
Hang on. Here, let me do this. Are you getting feedback now?
No.
Now are you getting feedback?
I wasn't a minute ago either. Now I am.
Huh.
Well, anyway, let's keep going. If you know, I don't think it's it may. Who knows?
It's the
I'm getting it when I talk. I'm getting it from my end of it. So I hope that's not interfering with what everybody else is. You're not hearing it.
You are crystal clear.
Well, that's good. That's the important part.
No. Actually, okay. Roger Carroll. Crystal clear is.
She's a reporter on CNN.
That's it. Yeah.
Actually, there is a reporter. If you recall, her name is or was Crystal Ball.
Oh, geez.
I swear that's true.
No relation to Lucille. Okay.
It might have been.
I don't know.
But it was Crystal Ball who did that.
Yeah, okay. We better get back on task here.
I'm on task, just not a good one. A quick aside. I know many of us have an iPhone. Many more of us have under the umbrella a smartphone. But I came across a really cool app, and I'm going to get back to OneNote. Trust me, this week. And I took a screenshot of my phone, and I'm talking about an app called Colab. Do you ever notice in commercials, music videos, and so on, how they have quickly, different camera angles for the same shot? They show the person singing, and they'll show the person singing that same song in the exact same spot from a different angle. And they do it with multiple cameras. Well, this is a free app. It's called Colab. And it will, Gene, this will blow your mind. You need one or more iOS devices. I don't know if it exists on a Android, but if you have, as you do, an iPhone and an iPad, or an iPhone and 2 iPads, or an iPhone and an iPad and a mini iPad, or whatever's going on, you can set them up. And I did this. I daren't show anybody what I did it with, but I did it to try it, and it works. I set up a mini iPad on a table. I set up an iPad on another table, and I had my iPhone in my hand, and you designate one of them as the primary image. They all are on the same Wi-Fi. I'll preface it with that. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. Where did that come from? That's not what I wanted. Well, anyway, we're back at the apps. That's because I'm not going to show you what I did. I will at some point refine it, or I challenge you to go try it. In fact, a neat thing, Gene, this week was with this collab, there is an upgraded for fee version of the app, and they were giving that away.
I wish I would have known, because
it's like a $50 upgrade. But anyway, I grabbed that. I haven't even played with it more than once or twice, but I can't wait to get some of my grandkids into this. But this is really creative. I think in a classroom, even if, now some people have iPads, some one or more iPhones would do this. And again, you can set it up from different angles, like from shooting low to high, shooting straight on, and then you can hold your iPhone in your hand, turn the camera around, or do a selfie if you want, and get all that stuff going. And it is totally cool. You can build in music if you want to do a background music. You can upload some of your own music, and you can play with it kind of like what you can in iMovie and one of those things. And it's just a real fun thing, and I just what the heck, came across it. I don't know if I saw it, probably on one of my Twitter feeds somewhere, which is really kind of cool. Which leads me to this next thing over here. Let me see. Does this work? No, I'm trying. I want to see normal. The spotlight. No. I was going to try to do some things with it. This is a Wakelet, and it will allow you to collect your Twitter feeds or your blogs or the different things. Say I'm thinking of my iPhone again. When you go to a site and you can send it somewhere, you can save it, you can send it to your email, you can send it to your pictures, you can send it to a Dropbox, and as I think Gene and I both do, we can send it to a Flipboard, we can send it to OneNote, but this will let you collect them and manage them in a very simple app. I haven't put it on my desktop. I don't even know if it's available desktop-wise, but it's another app, and it's another way to manage, say, this volume of information that we get while we're just maybe sitting in an office somewhere, or have a few minutes, we're looking at our phones as the rest of the world is. Here's another way to collect and manage all of that information, and that's really kind of cool too. So again, this is so much fun. Gene, I don't know how many iOS devices you have, but I know it's more than one, and I don't know if there's a limit to how many you could set up on it, but you set up a primary and a secondary and another secondary, and you can switch back and forth. It's really a lot of fun. I was doing, I'm going to get some grandkids together and challenge them to come up with some creative response using it. And that's just, I was going to talk about that more in prior to the webinar tonight, and what we call our worms, but well, we'll see. So now it's out there. We talked about, and you mentioned OneNote. I'm going to click my OneNote app. Actually, I already had it going up here, didn't I? I'm going to close that. Here I go again. These are all OneNote notebooks, okay? Some have an actual purpose. Some of them are just collections that I've come across. Some are demo for Well, we were just talking to Dave Glahey, a demo for some workshops that Gene and I have been doing. There's some that at some point in the future, I want to go into some detail in these, but I'm going to strongly recommend, and I can send this out if you're interested in any of these, and over a few webinars in the future, I'll show you in detail what they offer. This is not one I created, it's one I downloaded from a site that was referencing it, and it is awesome. It's not just Teacher Planner, it goes into a whole lot of things. I'll open it up quickly. But before I even do that, I'm going to strongly recommend that everybody download the handout tonight. Helpful Hints for OneNote. It's a PDF. Well, let me open that up. And I don't know if the links work. The links weren't there. This is here we have 5 pages of a collection of helpful hints for OneNote. So if you're a power user of OneNote, or you just want to get started in OneNote, you just want at your fingertips a whole lot of references. These are all linkable. Something I printed out earlier, but I can click on any one of these. And this is fairly recent, within the past week. Some of the links might go back to earlier editions of OneNote. As Gene points out, they are evolving all the time. But all of these are worth your time to take a look at. Down at the bottom, on the last page, there are some video links for some training, in-depth. Let me see if I can pull that. There we go. We'll make that a little bigger for you. For some samples and examples of things. These are, I think, well worth your time. Download it, resave it, put it somewhere where you can open it up and collect some of the links. If the links don't work right out, you can copy and paste them in the URL. Like some are not obviously links. Notice the old indicator. If it gives you the finger, it's a link, and if it doesn't, it's just an address. I don't know if pressing Control gives me that. You could probably search on that. I haven't tried every one of them. There are just way too many of them. But look at some really great examples of how to use OneNote. They aren't necessarily all school oriented. They may be personal uses for OneNote, as there are. Like I go back to my notebooks here. This is a notebook I got in a training at BOCES a couple of years ago, and it talks. This is really intense. They talk about in now the 21st century, students creating knowledge. And this notebook, if you're interested in it, let me know. I can send you the link to get it, to you personally, rather than put it out there for everybody. But it talks about like a knowledge creation rubric, and there are some sample assignments in it, some that I would love to see maybe at the senior high level, but I think you'd get the idea that you could tailor it to a particular grade level of interest with some literature and so on, but some great projects in it. This is fairly new. I just got notice it says 219 Teacher Planner. I'm going to open this one, and I think this is from Australia. It was open. It's going to take a while because I haven't opened it on this computer in a while. 219 Teacher Planner. These are all the sections. Okay, so here's the welcome section, and these are all pages in the welcome section. The Australian school. If you're traveling to Australia, you're probably going to want to take advantage of that. See, are there schools in session now? When you go there, but what's nice is a lot of it is certainly adaptable to what we're doing and what we do in our classrooms. And the gist of it is really planning a school year, and it talks about, you could probably edit that if you wanted. But borrow, a good idea is a good idea wherever it is. Digital technology section. There are some sample pages here. A lot of good information. Just, it took me just a minute or two to decide, yeah, I want to put this into, as we often talk about, my personal learning network. And I did it as an entire OneNote notebook that I can now add to it, and I can now share it, and so on. And it talks about the term, but the idea is planning for a whole year. There's some interesting templates here for different units of study, different curriculum areas. Within, I dare say, it's got a lot of potential here for use. So let me go back to my other notebooks. And I want to pull up my main man here, where I have more stuff than you can imagine. And I don't know, I like the phrase, it's not hoarding if it's books.
Yeah.
Well, it's not hoarding if it's information.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm building my knowledge warehouse. And that's a phrase I picked up from that book I mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, Reader Come Home. We're building warehouses of knowledge. And through technology and this and that, I mean, I can look at everything you're looking at right now. I can look at it all on my phone with the notebook app, with the Teams app, with any of that stuff. And yeah, the scale is just a little small, but I can add to it, and often do, because that's what I have at my disposal more often than anything else. I want to go to our early bird worms. That's what we were calling some of our discussions that take place before the webinar starts. And I picked this up. There's one of your favorites, Gene.
Oh, yes.
Next book. And they had some good stuff this week come out.
Yes.
And let's see, which one I gotta change the width here. It's not letting me do. Well, and as often happens in the year end, the year of lists, the 50 of this, the 10 of that, the 100 of that, and so on. The 50 top teacher websites for 2018. And again, these are all shareable. These pages, I can copy and paste. I can send that page. I can send links to that page. I can share all of that stuff. So when you're building your personal learning network, as I know you are, collect them in one place. You can have, we mentioned time and time again, you can have an unlimited number of notebooks with an unlimited number of sections, and each section can have an unlimited number of pages. What I'm finding now is I have to start managing that. A really cool thing is this search button. We're going to talk more about that. I can search for any item, any text item, anywhere in my notebook and in the files across notebooks. So I can make things easier to find as we build our warehouse of information here. At the time we know where we put it, but maybe tomorrow or next week we lose track of that. Using this search is really very powerful. It's how to snap search for stuff. One thing I'm working on, and it's the organization of pages. We can organize these by dragging a page. Like I want always find my early birds. So I can drag, notice I can drag and drop a section. What I want to be able to do is, as I add pages from any number of sources, whether it's from my phone or an iPad or another computer and so on, I want to be able to, these are not in any unique order. They're just there. I add another page. I'm not sure if it's going to appear at the bottom or at the top. There is a routine. I haven't found it to work consistently that will kind of like make a default, like all new pages appear at the bottom, and that would give them some sense of order. I can move them, and if I right click on it, I can move it here. I can create a new, I can make it a sub page. Something we'll talk about later on is show the various versions of a page, which would be important maybe in a classroom where you have multiple editors and students collaborating on a page. We'd want to be able to track the changes, maybe within a group in your classroom and so on. So you can do that with various versions of a particular page, and maybe go back to one that you were more interested in. You can delete them. I say you can move and copy a page. I won't do it, but I can designate where I want to move or where I want to copy, either move or copy down here. Move means it takes it from here and puts it all in another section, or I just want to make a copy of it. With the search tool, I don't find I do a lot of the copying anymore. I can find it very quickly. It's more a problem of me trying to keep it organized when I'm working with all of this stuff. And go back down to, well, here we are, early bird worms. There was a really cool article where I want to go down the bottom here. It had to do with using Flipgrid. Let me see if I can search on Flipgrid. And I want to find a page. Let's see if it finds pages. Okay, let's see if it finds a section. I know I have a section devoted to Flipgrid. And it was using, look, it took a while. A word of the day, a challenge word. And it was using, I thought, a terrific idea of using Flipgrid and say, well, as a vocabulary builder, but Flipgrid creates a video of students sharing, and it was sharing words. And it was, we all, I think, are acquainted in some fashion with word walls in our classroom. This could be a digital version of a word wall. And it came up, I don't know if I can, if the word, this is probably going to give me 1 billion hits. Let's see, let's look for it in pages, see how many pages it's going to give me. And I think it's where it's search for the word. That's got to be crazy. Probably too many of them. But some really terrific activities. Once you get into, as some of you are already, into using Class Notebook, into using teams. You create a team. In that team with your students, you're going to have a class notebook. And you can use Flipgrid, as we know now, has been purchased by Microsoft, and they're adding features to it. Gene mentioned the Immersive Reader. The Immersive Reader is now a part of Flipgrid, and that's where this little routine came into play. I think I bit off more than I could chew here. Let's go back to Flipgrid. And I have a picture of it. Let's hit the enter key and see what happens. And go back to a section, see what happens there. And now it's working. But a whole lot of really neat things. I had an image of it. It was really neat. I'll find it. Here's a tutorial, and again, fairly recent. Okay, I put that in this week, yesterday, in fact. Using more and more of these tools. Gene, earlier we talked about Quizlet. We've talked about forums. We've talked about Sway. At some point, you got to cut to the chase and pick a couple of tools and say, let me really learn these. Let me figure out Teams in Class Notebook and start working with kids. Dave Glahey is going to try a week without paper as a challenge and push everything out to his second grade students now, and not use paper and use the digital resources that he has with his Journeys reading program and all those things. And it'll be a show and tell in a couple of weeks, Dave, when you get back and have some results from and tell us what you learned from it, and tell us what the kids learned and what their response was. And I think we got a lot to look forward to there. Here is what, Gene, you mentioned earlier, the 10 free learning tools.
You did same article?
Yeah, I'm sure it probably is. Let me go down the bottom where the link. I'll click on the link. And here we go. Yeah, from Mike Dolphin.
Yeah.
He is the man.
Yeah.
With all learning tools and the immersive reader. And here he's talking about the Translate that you were talking about, and a whole bunch of other of these fantastic new capabilities, we'll put it that way, of the immersive reader and learning tools, like where it originally was talked about. So that's there too. I don't know, Gina, if you want to maybe when we put this up for the week, maybe put the link in to this article.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, I do have that. Yes.
Yes. Put that up for attendees who want to maybe check it out.
Sure.
So with that, I think we're pushing 8:59.
Yes, we are.
All, Eagles fans can dry their tears. And,
okay, it was.
Oh yeah, it's over.
So I did not see the.
Oh yeah. Well, it ended as often does. They were on the move. The Eagles were on the move and ended with an interception, and
as so often happens.
Game over. Yeah.
As so often happens. Yeah. Oh well.
So you can take it back, Gene, or we can sign off.
We can just sign off from here and say thank you for joining us, everybody. We will be here next week, I guess. And
well, you say we. And
what I mean is, I hope we, the audience, and
I'm going to take that as a challenge. I don't know if I can. I don't know if it's even possible to join you.
Yeah, I understand.
But if I do, we'll play "Where in the World Is Roger?" And
we'll do Find My Friends or something like that and figure out where he is. Anyhow, thank you for joining us. We hope to see you next week. If you have any questions, concerns, if we don't put up links or something, don't hesitate to tell me, because we forget these things.
We've got just way too much stuff.
Yeah, that's the problem. Hey, also, you just mentioned that. You also mentioned the PLN. There is on the Teacher Resource Center site the PLN pages, and I've been adding, and I know Raj every night adds things.
I put a couple things in there this week, I think.
Yeah, put some things in there, and some good articles in there. Some are tech oriented, some are non-tech oriented. So you might want to take a look at those. So, and with that, we'll say thank you. Have a good week. Good night, everybody.
Yes. Good night, all. Thanks for coming.